Silk City Hot Sauce. A small batch hot sauce prepared with farm-grown peppers. Rich and vibrant taste, no artificial ingredients, 100% pure goodness. 8 flavors from mild to wild. The sweet and spicy Mango Madness. The green jalapeno sauce called Aztec Attack. The Dragon features fire-roasted peppers and pure Vermont maple syrup. Killer hot sauces for the true hot sauce fanatic. A blend of ghost peppers, habanero peppers, honey, and garlic, and more. You gotta see the bottles, too. Each flavor has original comic book artwork. You gotta see them. Go to silkcityhotsauce.com. silkcityhotsauce.com. Enter promo code ED, ED, to save 15%, and you'll also receive a free bottle of hot sauce. If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law. The Opperman Report is brought to you by Aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. And Aquadam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an Aquadam can do the job. An Aquadam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An Aquadam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An Aquadam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give Aquadam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, private investigator Ed Opperman. You can find me at Opperman Investigations and Digital Forensic Consulting through my website, emailrevealer.com, or you can just email me directly at oppermaninvestigations@gmail.com. If you like our show, be sure and check out our Patreon. We have 8 new hours of exclusive content goes up to Patreon every month, and all the shows you hear Monday to Friday, AM, FM radio, you can hear the same shows too with the ads removed. We remove the ads, so it's ad-free. But our archives are always free. You could find them at Spreaker.com. You go there, you sign up for free, and there's a chat room, and you get an email notification anytime we put up new content. Now, our guest today is a fascinating topic. Our guest today is Yulia Lilith Rose, and she's written the book, The Way to Infinite Health, and her website is healthtoinfinity.com. I met her years and years and years ago, and she was doing this thing. She was telling me she's raw vegan mostly and that kind of stuff, but she was doing this thing called breatharian, where they want to just breathe, and pretty much eliminate all foods is the ultimate goal, I believe. And it just fascinated me so much. I was dying to get her on the show. It's been about 10 years since we've talked, and she looks just as young as she did back then. So whatever she's doing, I got to tell you, it seems to be working. So Yulia Lilith Rose, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Hi.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Tell us about yourself. Who is Yulia Lilith Rose?
Well, I am on a path on a journey of exploration down the rabbit hole. Actually, the journey started when I did not experience full benefits of a healthy person. I struggled with my health and had a lot of health issues since I was a kid, but I don't know whether I was lucky enough or unlucky. I was born in a family of doctors, so anything that was ever wrong with me was always addressed with some kind of form of a pill or a treatment or something that doctors would usually do to their kids. Well, in general, to people. So, and that's how I was raised. So there was always an answer to a question, but it didn't seem like it was a permanent answer or a solution to a problem. It was more like a band-aid to an issue, and to especially chronic issue, like let's say allergies. Like we all like, I don't know about other people, but it seems like that specifically in my family, my both parents, being doctors, believe that, for instance, allergies is a genetic disorder.
Right.
It's autoimmune disorder, and the only way to address it is to give me as many pills as possible, antihistamines. And that was the solution, which wasn't really the solution because you have to do it indefinitely.
Now this was you were born in Russia, right?
Yes, I was born in Russia, and I came to America about 20 years ago. And in 2010, I actually got introduced to the idea that if you detox your body enough and if you change your lifestyle and your diet, there is a possibility of healing anything you want on your body. Moreover, during that time of discovery, I found out that there are people that reap great health benefits by transitioning into that lifestyle as breatharianism, where they learn to live without food and without water, but at the same time they gain they become superhumans, basically. So
I can say this because I've known you a long time, although we haven't spoken lately. But 10 years ago, when you were first getting into this, you and your boyfriend at the time were the two most healthiest people I've ever seen in my life. You were both extremely physically fit looking, and it's still today you look the same exact way you did right now as you did back then. Now,
thank you.
Breatharian, you're saying without water. Now, what's the longest you've gone without food and water?
Me personally, I'm still on the journey. So the longest that I went was 9 days, no food, no water. But I didn't jump right into it. So to everyone who might want to try that, I highly suggest, first of all, to have someone to supervise them. It's a very serious venture, and it's very dangerous as well. So it took me more than 1 year of preparation to go even that far. I started with 1, then 3 days of dry fasting. Dry fasting is no food, no water. Right. And it's very important to know how you lead in and lead out. It's even more important than fasting itself. In general, people do it for health benefits or to heal some kind of chronic illness or something like that. But if you train and condition your body long enough and reduce the amount of consumption of food on daily basis, or start skipping, leaving some days open where you don't eat or drink, but it's not really fasting at that point. It's more like a lifestyle. And slowly you kind of fall into that lifestyle, you transition into it.
I totally agree. And around 1989, when I first became like a born-again Christian, I used to go on these 30-day long water fasts. I never did a dry fast, but 30-day water fast. And just like you said, it's more important how you end the fast. When you end this fast, you should have like soups and, mashed potatoes, like soft food. You don't want to go start eating steaks and ribs and things, because it'll tear your stomach apart.
Right.
Really cause a lot of damage.
Really sick. Yeah, definitely. You can get really, really sick, and I cannot stress enough how important it is, because if you go 3 days no food, no water, and you lead out somewhat okay, you follow kind of rules, but a lot of people that I know that when they start, they kind of they feel like they starve themselves for 3 days, and then they jump on and binge eating. But if they binge eat even fruits, they might feel not good, but it's forgiving. When you go to 5 days and you make a mistake, you might have some serious side effects, even slightest little mistake, because the lead out should be twice longer than the fast itself. So if you're fasting 5 days, you should follow some strict rules for 10 days following after the fast, when you come out of it, before you get back to your regular diet. So if you go 7 days, that's where you're in real trouble. If you make one mistake, you literally die. One lady, she did just fine, 7 days no food, no water. She fasted just fine. And then when she was coming out of it, she felt like her intuition was telling her that she needed to drink a gallon of orange juice.
Oh, my God.
Well, yeah, she went into coma, and 3 days later she died. So it was sad. Yeah.
If you go 10, 15 days, just water, or even when we've done the Daniel fast, which is just fruit, nuts, beans, legumes, and vegetables, and a little bit of sugar, little tiny bit of sugar, even a date. You eat a date, the sugar in a date, it goes right to your head, man. You really feel it. So you start drinking a gallon of orange juice, you're looking for big trouble.
Oh yeah, totally.
Now, Yulia, let me ask you a question now, because we're getting to the extreme here. The breatharian is extreme. You're raw vegan. You're a sensible person. You're in good shape. You have a very healthy, it seems to be enjoyable lifestyle with the dancing and all that kind of stuff I see on your Facebook page. What other techniques do you need to do when you go into that extreme of breatharian? Besides just cutting off water and food, what about your breathing techniques, your resting, your exercise? What else do you have to do? Meditation?
Well, I'm not a breatharian myself, not yet. But I am. I'm eating once a day, and usually it's when people ask me if I ate or what did I eat, and I tell, today I had, I think, half a cucumber and avocado. Well, anything else? Well, I don't think so. I don't recall. And they're like, well, that's not food. What did you eat? I'm like, well, that's what I ate. So for others, it might not be even a meal, but you don't, like I said, you transition into that. You don't jump into that. So, because otherwise you won't be able to balance out your weight. It takes time for your body to get used to changes, and changes should not be huge, and not you can't change overnight and jump right into it.
I totally agree. Well, give us an example. What is your height and weight right now?
My height and weight, I am thinking that I'm much closer to my ultimate goal of becoming a breatharian, because it seems like my weight stabilized and I'm not losing it anymore, even though before it was kind of I'm 5'4.5", almost 5'5", and my weight was, before when I was transitioning, it was 100 pounds, and some people would look at me and they'll be like, oh, you look too vegan, you should start eating. Now with all the training that I do in dancing and acrobatic tricks and all that stuff, I guess I gained more muscle, maybe. Right now my weight is between 110 and 115, which is, I think, is a lot for me personally. I think the most that I've actually ever weighed, with that little amount of food consumption. It's amazing that I'm holding this weight, and more amazing is that I can train 8 to 10 hours a day, dancing and doing tricks. So, and I train a couple days a week, and my instructor is quite strict. He's always pushing me always farther than I think I can go and can do, which is really awesome. And
just recently on your Facebook, you're demonstrating, you're in one of those ball pits, and you do this big giant, you did a couple of them, it looks like. You did this big somersault into the air. Right, now that's recent. That's recent? Okay, it's fascinating. Yeah, I train a lot. Yeah, our tricks actually are more and more complex, because the goal is, if I get good enough, we'll compete.
But I don't know where I'm at, but I'm very happy at the same time, in a sense that I see that we are doing more and more complex tricks. So I guess we're progressing in that direction.
Well, if you progress any more, you're going to be able to fly away. Okay, put some wings on you.
That's what we're doing. Yeah, that's what we're doing. And it's trial and error. And I get injured also, and then but I don't miss trainings when I get injured, like fractured my rib doing a trick, and I still didn't miss a day of training. We just went easy on tricks during the time of healing, but something happens sometimes, so injuries are not, but the thing is, it heals quite fast. Like, I think faster than on a normal person. That's another benefit. There is not much inflammation if something gets hurt on the body, and healing process takes much less time than on a regular person, because if you are on that diet, on that lifestyle, in general, there is much less inflammatory processes in your body, so your body can cope with any kind of injury much faster.
In your book, The Way to Infinite Health, which you can find it on the website health2infinity.com. And now, is this like a recipe book? Is it a cookbook, or is it more than that?
No, there's nothing about recipes down there. Basically, how I came about to writing this book is I wished at the beginning of my journey I had this book to read. It would have saved so much time for me. I had health issues, and I wanted answers, and no doctors or anyone were able to give me those answers. I had a lot of allergies, like over 70 different allergies. I had joint issues. Quite often my knee would go out. I wasn't able to train, or when I would go to the gym, I wasn't able to work out my legs because of my knee. I had, I would always get sick and stuff like that. So I was looking for answers, and I believed that if I detoxed, I would do that. And I read a few books, and those books kind of set my mind on this path, that I need to change everything that I do, like what I apply to my armpit, deodorant, so there's no any toxins in it, shampoo, conditioner. People don't realize that we're eating not just necessarily even by eating food, but what we apply on our skin, it goes under the skin, it goes into the bloodstream. Basically, you ate it. You put lotion on your skin, you basically ate it. So my rule of thumb, if you can't eat it, don't put it even on your skin topically. So
that is so true. And people, if you check out our sponsor, puresoapflakes.com, when you use that soap and you get off that chemical soap, you want to smear this thing all over your body. You want to touch in every area of your body because it feels so good and you feel so different than when you're using that horrible. It actually removes a layer of your skin, that stuff you buy at the store. So you want to stay away from that. So, Lilith, if we want to start off with this, how do we start off? Detoxifying? How do you detoxify?
Well, it's I think it's the lack of knowledge that we're missing, because in order to make some kind of commitment or choice or decision, you have to understand why you're doing that. So in my book, I'm explaining, rather, it's not a cookbook or anything, but I explain why it's not good to do this or this or that, and give them further sources for researching. If, like, for instance, why you probably should not consume meat, because it's not, or animal products, it's not the best choice for you. And people don't know why. They're gonna hear this, oh, well, someone thinks it's like that, but without reasoning behind it or science behind it, it's like, well, McDonald's is bad too, so what? I won't die if I eat it. So there's explanation in the book why it's particularly not beneficial for you, and if you really want to dig into it, you can go to the book where I sourced it from, and it's another, like, really thick book. and read that. But if you don't want to do that, there is a summary, just one chapter that you can read the overview and summary and all the main points and kind of, go with that. So, and there's a lot of questioning in my book is why we should need this, and that. And also at the same time, I suggest to switching to plant-based diet and side benefits of that. Like replacing, for instance, you can replace meat with broccoli, which is also very high in protein. As a matter of fact, 100 grams of broccoli would have more protein than a piece of steak that you will eat. So at the same time, I touch kind of some ABCs, let's say, of how to detox your body and how to even test yourself at where you're at, because nobody even knows how alkaline or acidic they are and what exactly even it means. Nobody heard about pH strips, for instance, where you can test, like just testing your saliva in the morning, first thing in the morning you get up, where you're at with your health. Because if you're too acidic, if your pH is between 5 and 6, which majority of people are at that level, that's where you're prone to all inflammatory issues and brewing some kind of diseases and cancer and all sorts of things. They love acidic environment and parasites as well. And how to bring your body to more alkaline state. That's
Yulia, let me ask you this. Let's say because I'm vegan now. I'm not raw vegan, but I've been vegan now for about 3 or 4 years. But the average person who's out there right now, they're eating meat, they're smoking, they're on some kind of medication, they're drinking alcohol, they don't exercise that much. What would you tell that person? How do they get started?
Well, first of all, they should probably inform themselves and understand what exactly they're doing to their body. Because I'll give you just one example that, I didn't know the full realization of the word stimulant, like salt is a stimulant, right? I had an understanding of it, like, okay, well, salt is a stimulant, but I didn't have full realization of it till I experienced it by myself after going 5 days no food and water and not waiting for 10 days afterwards like you're supposed to, and going slowly leading into your regular diet. On the 5th day, I decided I wanted to use a little salt, which you should wait at least 10 days after 5 days no food, no water, And when I put that little salt on my cucumber, I remember I ate it, and right away I felt that rush, and like my heart was pounding like it was gonna jump out, and I had this throbbing, pulsation in my head, and I thought I'm gonna die from migraine. And then I realized that it's like giving a newborn baby, starting, with baby steps, but you gave like a ton of salt right away. So that's the extreme of each word, of realization of each word, what each word means. So if I tell them, oh, you shouldn't smoke, it's bad for you, it's not good enough, but they should kind of experience it on themselves if they stay away from it for a little bit and try again. Because in reality, at the beginning, it calms you down when you start smoking, but actually later on, it's a habit, but it doesn't calm you anymore. But you think it does. It's kind of more like self-fulfilling prophecy, that you believe into something and you fall into that pattern. But it's been proven it doesn't really calm you. It's just a habit. It feels in your hands. It's just give you something to do. But on a chemical level, it doesn't really do what you think it would be doing for you. And also, they put MSG in tobacco nowadays. So I don't know if people are aware. So if they smoke, at least they should be buying organic tobacco and rolling it by themselves.
There's even arsenic in there, and there's all kind of accelerants too to make it burn at a certain speed, so that you only get a certain amount of nicotine, and then you have to light up another one. They got that down to a science, okay? They got it down to a science. If you bought organic nicotine and you roll it yourself and you're smoking it, it'll go out. If you're not puffing on it, it goes out. Whereas a cigarette, you can light up like a fuse and put a firecracker on it, and it'll burn all the way down without anybody sucking at it. Now, what about yourself? Do you use any alcohol, wine, or marijuana?
No, I have not had alcohol in more than 10 years. Since 2010, I went raw vegan, and I never looked back, so I have not had alcohol ever since then. However, I do have kombucha occasionally. I don't know if you consider it as an alcohol or not, but they say it's good for your gut flora. A lot of raw vegans and activists, they say, oh, you shouldn't be drinking that because it's still considered, fermentation creates a certain amount of alcohol in it, even if it's like minute, and even if children can drink it, it's still not good for you. So those studies show that even if it's black tea, during fermentation, 90% of caffeine gets destroyed. So, I don't know. It's very controversial. I still drink kombucha. I enjoy it. I don't drink a lot of it, not on a daily basis, but that's the hardest, so to speak, liquor nowadays for me.
Okay, and what about coffee and teas?
Well, herbal teas, yes. Regular teas, a lot of people are saying that, just like red wine, green tea is great for you, is great antioxidant, and yada yada. There is many different levels of health in our perception, and it's like stepping stones, and it depends where you are at that point. It might be either good for you or not good for you. So I can't be like, I'm not I don't have a specific set of rules or point of like, okay, this is bad or this is good. Anything can be good or bad. Well, obviously not processed foods and chemically laced like in McDonald's or something like that. But in general, a person who decides to go raw vegan and starts and jumps into it and doesn't know the pyramid of healthy eating in that lifestyle would probably do more harm to themselves than good. Because I meet so many people who are like walking around with a bag of nuts, or actually it's legumes. It's not even nuts. Cashews are legumes. It's not even nuts. And they're like, oh, I'm raw vegan, so I'm gonna eat all day only these nuts, and that's it. And they do harm to their bodies. That it's much healthier to eat a piece of steak and a green salad, and that's it. It would be healthier than eating a bag of legumes a day. So and again, with green tea, it's the same thing. If you are raw vegan or monofruitarian or fruitarian, or even farther along the way, then drinking such strong stimulant with caffeine in it, like green tea, probably not the best idea. And it will affect you much, when you're a light eater, if you drink some alcohol, it will hit you harder. But if you have a heavy meal, you drink the same amount of alcohol, you can hold it, right? So it's the same thing with caffeine. If you're a very light eater and you drink some green tea, it might not be the best choice for you. But if you are, eating still animal products, it might stimulate your digestion. It might be doing something good for you. I don't know.
And in your book, The Way to Infinite Health, you describe medicinal mushrooms. What can you tell us about that?
Well, in general, the first time I heard about mushrooms in general, it was, I remember it was a long time ago, David Avocado Wolf, who is a very well-known raw vegan, and he's been for decades raw vegan, and he never ever gets sick. And one of his lectures was about mushrooms, and that's where I've heard the opinion that you should not be eating mushrooms to begin with unless they're medicinal mushrooms. So because it's supposed to be fungus, and mushrooms are really awesome when they grow to absorb all the toxins out of the ground and radiation and stuff like that. There is also, though, lately I hear the opinion that some raw vegans that eat mushrooms, they justify it by saying that, oh, it's very high in vitamin D3, and for raw vegans it's very important. So if you buy mushrooms, that are grown in clean facility, it's good for you for vitamin D3. So in general, medicinal mushrooms are very strong helpers. It's like superfoods. And depending on what exactly you're going for or what health issue you have, it's really awesome to use it as a helper or a way to achieve your goal.
I used to have a sponsor on the show, MichiganMushroom.net, and he used to talk to this guy was obsessed with mushrooms. He was a genius when it came to mushrooms. And he talked about how around the world this chaga mushroom tea is considered very medicinal and beneficial to people. Yeah. Have you heard of it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite. You took it out of my mouth. I wanted to, for instance, and I just wanted to say chaga. Yeah, so chaga is really extraordinary because people like to use it not just in medicinal ways, but also as a spiritual guide, so to speak, because it helps you to detoxify your pineal gland, your third eye. So, and also it's a strong antioxidant, and it kills a lot of parasites in your body. So, and including even funguses like Candida, it helps with that too. But a lot of parasites do not like it, like a lot of flukes and other different I don't know specifically which types of parasites, but I know that one of the breatharians, actually, his name is Jericho Sunfire. He is a good friend of this well-known vegan raw foodist David Avocado Wolf. And when he was coming to visit David Wolf back then, he really enjoyed drinking a lot of chaga mushroom, but he would go like all crazy on it. He will go all the way out. He would not drink in small portions, but he would mix huge mixtures, like tablespoons of that powder, and push it through his body. And based on his words, he was saying that in spite of being already a breatharian, you might possibly still have something in your body. And he said it did miracles to him when he was drinking it, because it flushed a lot of interesting things out of his system. So, yeah.
Now, you mentioned also earlier spirituality. Now, I know that when I detox from the meat and the blood and the flesh and all that stuff, once you're really away from that, and you've really cleaned yourself out from that, it does change your way of thinking and your empathy and your value of life, all life in general. What kind of experiences have you had?
Yeah, it's very actually interesting. In general, my transition was very interesting because I went that direction not out of some kind of spiritual movement or some idea, but I just I don't care if you kill that cow or not. I don't care what happens to animals, but I just want to be healthy. Right. And I need to detox, so I quit. And when I did it, I went cold turkey. I went 100% raw vegan. And back then, when I was with that boyfriend, he also went raw vegan with me, except the first, I believe, 4 months, I think it's like something like 5 months maybe. He was bodybuilding, like he was going to the gym, not to compete or anything. It's just like a lifestyle. So 6 days a week he was in the gym for 1.5 hours, working out real hard, lifting weights and stuff like that for decades. So it's kind of a lifestyle for him. So he felt like, oh, well, I don't know. I'm not sure about this idea about protein, so I'm not convinced yet. So I will keep a little bit salmon, in my diet. So he went 100% raw vegan with me, but every evening I was baking for him a little tiny piece of salmon. And the first few months was kind of rough because I couldn't understand, like, why am I torturing myself? That smells so good. That's so awesome. Like, why am I like not eating it? And it was difficult not to eat it, but I'm like, okay, I'm sticking with it. I want to see what happens. And on the 4th month, it started to change. I started to become indifferent to it, and kind of into the 5th month, when it went into the 5th month, it felt like the salmon smelled to me like it was rotten.
Right.
The freshest, and I would buy it and I'd be like, it smells rotten. Does it smell rotten to you? And he's like, no, it smells great. I'm like, okay. So I would try to put a lot of condiments on it to hide that smell for him, but he didn't smell it. And I would bake it and he would eat it, and I would be like, how can you eat rotten food? I don't understand, how can you eat, like, he couldn't smell it. And then on the 6th month, we went cross country, and that's where his system caught up with him, because even though he was eating that small piece of, salmon, he was 100% raw vegan otherwise, and his body detoxed enough where when we were going cross country, we went to one restaurant in one state, and I ordered a salad, and he had a salad and a piece of salmon, and when they brought it out, he's like, oh, it smells rotten. He's like, oh, the fish is bad. And I'm like, no, it's not bad. You finally caught up. It's like your senses become so refined that you start catching up with that.
You can smell the death. You can smell the death in that meat. You can, and if you walk through the supermarket too, sometimes some people can't even walk by those aisles with all that blood and meat and yuck.
Yeah. So, but he didn't believe it. He thought it was bad restaurant. So, but after we went through 3 different states, and in 3 different states they had rotten fish. That's where he's like, okay, I think I see the picture. And that was it for him. So that's when his journey of transitioning became to the point where he became 100% raw vegan.
Well, on that note, there's a good time to take a commercial break. We are with Yulia Lilith Rose. The name of the book is The Way to Infinite Health. And the website is called healthtoinfinity.com. You can go there and see all the products that she has going on, the activities and stuff. You can check her out. We'll be right back with more of Yulia Lilith Rose right after these messages. And now a word from our sponsors. If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
The Opperman Report is brought to you by Aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. And Aquadam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an aquadam can do the job. An aquadam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An aquadam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An aquadam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give Aquadam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119. OppermanReport.com. Hey, do you like what you're hearing? Do you like the work that you see us doing here at Opperman Report? You can support that work by becoming a member at OppermanReport.com. And as you have access to over 200 exclusive shows and interviews that you can't find on YouTube or Spreaker or iHeart or iTunes or KYAH. You can't find them anywhere else online, exclusive to our member sections, to our members. Also, too, there's images, videos, documents, court docs. And don't forget, you can hear your ad played here on the Opperman Report, reach hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people on a daily basis because the show is repeated every day all over the world. Contact me at oppermanreport@gmail.com and I'll give you a good deal on advertising rates. Silk City Hot Sauce. A small batch hot sauce prepared with farm-grown peppers. Rich and vibrant taste, no artificial ingredients, 100% pure goodness. 8 flavors from mild to wild. The sweet and spicy Mango Madness, the green jalapeno sauce called Aztec Attack. The Dragon features fire-roasted peppers and pure Vermont maple syrup. Killer hot sauces for the true hot sauce fanatic. A blend of ghost peppers, habanero peppers, honey, and garlic, and more. You gotta see the bottles, too. Each flavor has original comic book artwork. You gotta see them. Go to SilkCityHotSauce.com. SilkCityHotSauce.com. Enter promo code ED, ED, to save 15%, and you'll also receive a free bottle of hot sauce.
It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome back to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman. We're here today with Yulia Lilith Rose. And Yulia is spelled just like Julia, but with a Y. Yulia Lilith Rose. And the book is called The Way to Infinite Health. The website is healthtoinfinity.com. So now, Yulia, I know we were talking off the air, and part of your journey to where you are today also involved that you had some kind of toxic issue from leaking breast implants?
Yeah, a long time ago, I got silicone breast implants, and I was convinced that it's absolutely safe and it's healthy, and there is no any problem or any issue with that. But unfortunately, as I researched later, it might not be the case. In my case, one of them ruptured, and my body absorbed about 200 milliliters of silicone, which spread throughout my body, lymph system, and then it goes and spreads throughout your major organs. Your organs shut down, basically. People that know what I'm talking about, they call me a miracle child because if you absorb that amount of silicone, you either stay in a wheelchair or die. There's no even conversation about dancing or even walking. So, and only because of my lifestyle, I kind of put myself back together and pulled through it and actually can dance. And not just dance, but, I didn't have that much stamina when I was in my teens. As a matter of fact, we had just this Sunday, like recently, a birthday, my instructor's birthday, and all the students came in to celebrate, and we had the whole night of dancing. And there was a girl on the dancing floor, and she's in her 20s, and she was complaining that she was tired, and I was looking at her, I'm like, wait, how can you be tired if I'm not tired? And it was strange to me how much, I guess, conditioning and work I've done on myself, because I feel stronger now than when I was in my 20s. At least I can go on and on and on all day long, and I can train for 8 hours straight and in heels, dancing and doing tricks, and it's amazing.
So
the journey is amazing.
Besides the dancing, did you do any other kind of physical exercise?
Well, during COVID, all the gyms got closed, so.
Right.
Yeah, but before that, when I got silicone poisoning, there was a period of time in my life where I was bedridden. I was bedridden for about 5 years. I wouldn't even get out of bed. And that's when I got this thought in my mind, when I read hundreds and hundreds of books trying to find the answer and researching and testing and trying on myself everything I could. And I succeeded. And that's when I had that thought in my mind, oh, will I ever dance? And that's when I felt the determination that, oh yeah, I will dance, and I will dance better than ever, I started when I got better, and I detoxed enough, because no doctor was helping me on my journey in the sense of getting better. Only me and regular methods of detoxing and knowing how to do it the proper way, and diet, but I wouldn't call it a diet. It's a lifestyle. For others, it might be a diet, but for me, it's a lifestyle, raw vegan lifestyle, fasting, and other tools that I use to detox. Also, when I started to get better, I was going to the gym pretty much every day, at least 5 days a week.
Let me ask you this, because when you say detox, I know a lot of people will hear that and they'll Google, detox, body cleanse, and they'll go online and they'll see these pretty much multi-level marketing, get rich quick schemes on juice cleanses to drink. but what is it you actually recommend? Because I know you do consultation too. People can go to your website and consult with you. They can go to health2infinity.com and speak to you about their personal issues. But what do you recommend to take part in a cleanse?
Well, I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I can't give health advice per se, but I can point them the right direction and give them information, and based on my own experiences, share it with them, and they apply it to themselves. So it depends on the health condition. There's few people so far that claim that I saved their lives, which I cannot take that credit. All I did is I shared my information with them, and they did the work. So, for instance, one person is a friend of a friend who was told she had gallstones, and she was ready to do surgery and cut out her gallbladder. And I was devastated when I heard that. I was like, no, you cannot make an invalid out of yourself. You're too young. You will have to be on a strict diet. It's constant issue and problem. You need this organ. It's there for a reason. You cannot cut it out. So it took me a long time to talk her actually into trying to fix it. It's actually a very simple way to fix it too, and it's painless, but it will take more than 1 month, but you will start feeling better within 1 or 2 months. But if it's a question of completely fixing the issue and not cutting out your gallbladder, it's worth it. So I walked her through that, and I gave her source where there's a chapter in my book about that. Also, there is a doctor, PhD, and he's Ayurvedic doctor. And he wrote an amazing book on that subject. And I got his actually formula on how to detox and pull out gallstones out of your gallbladder and out of your liver without, it's a very simple process. It's not painful, and it's easy to do. Anyone can do it, but people are not aware of that. So she kind of follows through with my advice, and I insisted her not just reading my book, but specifically reading that book to address her issue, because it's very detailed explanation in that book about why and how and what. And she actually followed through that, and a year later she still has her gallbladder and she doesn't have issues. So
what is your opinion on supplements, vitamins?
It could be a great tool. It could be a useful tool. I'd say it's a crutch, because it should not be used permanently. It's a temporary way of correcting your issue faster. It could be. Definitely, I'm for some superfoods, and actually some superfoods I would say probably should stay in your lifestyle more or less for a much longer time, like chlorophyll, anything that has chlorophyll, like wheatgrass, or wheatgrass shots or something like that, that would be always beneficial for you. And it's rich in nutrients. And as a matter of fact, if you drink enough of chlorophyll on daily basis for a prolonged amount of time, it's not just it will really expedite your detoxing, but you will start noticing that you're changing your hair back from gray to your original color. And that's one of the things that people experience, and they're really surprised because they don't even know that it's a possibility,
Yeah, wheatgrass too. That's like, it'll give you energy too. It's better than that 5-hour energy nonsense stuff that they try and say at the gas station over there. It's much, much better.
Definitely.
Now, one more question too, because you keep talking about all this dancing. Now, is this something that you're like a professional dancer? Like, what's your goal with all this dancing training?
Well, initially when I was bedridden, I was really, I saw this beautiful dance. It's a Latin dance. It's bachata. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's essential bachata. It's so beautiful. I really want to learn how to dance. And at the same time, there was this huge urge because I was bedridden. I'm like, I want to dance. And that's how it started. And I remember I was not that well yet, but that kept me going because you do need physical activity and exercise. And I remember that the first classes that I was taking 6 years ago, I would go to class, 40-minute class, and it was simple class, but for me it was a challenge, and I would come home and collapse and lay in bed again, and it was a struggle. But now it's I would say more it's a lifestyle. I don't know how I can be without it. And also it's a very amazing social tool and aspect where you interact with people, because Latin dancing, like salsa or bachata, it's a partner dance. So if you go to specific places where you dance with other professional dancers or instructors, strong dancers, it's great exercise. At the same time, it's great interaction, and you're in contact with another person, but not in some strange or perverted way, at the same time. But you are in close proximity with that person at the same time. So you get, how they say, some psychologists say that you need 10 hugs a day to be well balanced and feel great.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, so that's kind of one of those things for me, in a sense that it's not direct hug or anything, but you keep your frame, you hold each other's shoulders, and when you dance, so because of that it's close dancing, you do get some emotional satisfaction out of it too, besides exercising. And my instructor actually is, he always pushes me beyond my own limitations till like I literally collapse on the floor in the studio. I'm like, okay, I cannot do that anymore, and it's a challenge because every day after good training, your body hurts for at least 2 or 3 days, and that I think that if your body doesn't hurt, you don't challenge it enough.
I was just gonna say it's a good hurt, It's a good.
Yeah, it's a good. We must.
But Yulia, we are out of time though. Yulia Lilith Rose, it's been wonderful reconnecting with you. You have such good energy, good positive energy. The book is called The Way to Infinite Health, and the website is called healthtoinfinity.com. You can contact Yulia and discuss your path and what you want to accomplish, and she can help you out there and be a little coach for you. Yulia Lilith Rose, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Good night.
Good night.
And now a word from our sponsors, emailrevealer.com. People ask me all the time, hey, Ed, are you still a private investigator? I sure am. Go to emailrevealer.com. We handle adoption investigations, infidelity investigations, where you give us your spouse's email address. We trace it back to online dating websites, catch them cheating online. Email tracing, locate or identify somebody from as little as an anonymous email address. Someone owe you money? Back child support? We can find that deadbeat, locate his hidden assets, locate his hidden bank accounts, find his current place of employment, and even assist you in obtaining a judgment and recover that judgment for you. Emailrevealer.com, digital forensics, computer forensics, cell phone forensics, recover deleted text messages, create a report that you can use in court. Emailrevealer.com, 800-572-9762. Silk City Hot Sauce. A small batch hot sauce prepared with farm-grown peppers. Rich and vibrant taste, no artificial ingredients, 100% pure goodness. 8 flavors from mild to wild. The sweet and spicy Mango Madness, the green jalapeno sauce called Aztec Attack. The Dragon features fire-roasted peppers and pure Vermont maple syrup. Killer hot sauces for the true hot sauce fanatic, a blend of ghost peppers, habanero peppers, honey, and garlic, and more. You gotta see the bottles too. Each flavor has original comic book artwork. You gotta see them. Go to silkcityhotsauce.com. silkcityhotsauce.com. Enter promo code ED, ED, to save 15%, and you'll also receive a free bottle of hot sauce.
It's the Opperman Report.
The Opperman Report is brought to you by Aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. And Aquadam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an Aquadam can do the job. An Aquadam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An Aquadam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An Aquadam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give Aquadam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119. If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law. OppermanReport.com. Hey, do you like what you're hearing? Do you like the work that you see us doing here at Opperman Report? You can support that work by becoming a member at OppermanReport.com. And as you have access to over 200 exclusive shows and interviews that you can't find on YouTube or Spreaker or iHeart or iTunes or KYAH. You can't find them anywhere else online, exclusive to our member sections, to our members. Also, too, there's images, videos, documents, court docs. And don't forget, you can hear your ad played here on the Opperman Report, reach hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people on a daily basis because the show is repeated every day all over the world. Contact me at oppermanreport@gmail.com and I'll give you a good deal on advertising rates.